Yes, so it is October, which here at Ahava means it is Rocktober. We are excited to focus on prosperity and abundance this month, to take up our spade and start tilling that soil of the fertile ground and open our arms to the bountiful harvest that awaits. Yes? All right, so to kick us off this month, I am so grateful to get to introduce our very own beloved Julie Jones Hamilton. Let me tell you a little about her. Now, many of you know her, but you might not know her full bio. It's pretty impressive, if I may say so. So, Julie is a certified and trained results expert, vision and business consultant. As an author, teacher, and speaker, coach, and TV producer, she supports others in building a blueprint for optimal success in the area of finances, career, health, and relationships. She supports others in creating a clear and cohesive vision for transformation by achieving objectives, goals, and lifetime potential. She lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and in Newport Beach, California. And Julie was one of our first core council members, helping to anchor this community and allow it to grow and prosper to who we are today. So let's give a warm Ahavian welcome to Julie Jones Hamilton.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay, now, part of that, almost all of that is true, except not one of the first, but one to serve. And it was about 4 years when I got here after it, and I was looking everywhere, didn't even know it was here. So, it took me a little bit, but once I came in, it's been over a decade, and it's been my honor to be here. Thank you for the introduction. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to see everyone here. I'm happy to see familiar faces and new faces. And I'm glad you're here too. All right, so this is my favorite month. It's my favorite month for many reasons, for the changes of season, for the colors, for the beginning of holidays that just happens, boom, boom, boom. I can feel it. Can you feel it? You can feel it in the air, the shift and the change. It happens every season, but there's something about harvest time. There's something about like going into this last quarter or near to this last quarter where it's like a completion. So that's really great. And then I'm also grateful to talk about prosperity and abundance because that's my favorite. My favorite is abundance. All right, so let's take a deep breath. Okay, I'm Julie Jones Hamilton, for those who don't know me. I've been with Ahava for over about a decade. It's been my honor to serve on the core council. It's been my honor to participate. It's been my honor to be in this community. It's been my honor to watch it grow, to watch it evolve, to watch it become. And I just know that God's work is all over, always, everywhere present, but there's something precious about Ahava. Ahava, precious Ahava. It's so precious. So I've also, I'm a spiritual and motivational teacher, speaker, coach, author, blah, blah, blah. But last year, I had the privilege to be in service with the transformation and money. Most of you know about this, in service to my transition of my husband of 35 years. And now, that was the past year. Now, I have the privilege to be of service to my mother, who had a stroke right after my husband. And she lives on the West Coast, so I was raised on the West Coast when I met this Southern gent who moved me to this place called Kentucky. And I kept thinking, now which state? And I said, okay, inland, I'm on the coast. I'd love to go, but promise you'll bring me back every summer. And he did. He brought our family back to the beach. And what I have discovered is Kentucky is the best kept secret. It is a slice of paradise in heaven. No wonder all the names of the tribes that you prospered and really, and for many reasons. And so physically, I may not have been here, but I see you. I follow you. I get the newsletters. I show up on milestones. When I'm here, I'm online. I watch you guys, so you're dear and near. For about over a decade, what I'm about to share with you today has come out of this book. Now, this is Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker's 365 Days of Richer Living. And I love the title. It's so abundant, and it's a daily. And I read it every day, and I have for many years, to the point where, and I'm going to show you all, I mean, it is all marked up and written in, and then I've indexed words every day at the end. And at the end of the year, I put it in a notebook, and then I buy a new book. And the reason I do that is because every year, it's like watching a movie and you see it a second time, you notice things. So every year, as we're evolving and growing on the upward spiral of our next becoming, like a green leaf on a plant in springtime, there is new awarenesses. So I track my awarenesses to ground them and grow and ground them and grow. So a couple weeks ago, I was looking at a page in here, reading it. It was a small paragraph, and it has affirmations at the end. And in that small paragraph, it just came at me 3 immutable universal laws. And I wrote those laws down, and I thought, they didn't say they were laws, but they're laws. I wrote them down, and when I was invited to speak, I thought, oh, I'm going to dive into that. And the name of the day, because each day has a name on it, it says, no, that's that one. Let me find this one. It says, I partake of the divine bounty. So thank you, Ernest, and this is where this is coming from. And it inspired me to share it with you. And it also reminded me of the scripture that says, give, and it will be given to you, in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Now so what does that mean? Well, to me, it means that if I believe and I trust and I depend on and I rely on the infinite side of my nature, as I give, it will be given to me. So you see, we have 2 sides of our nature. We have our human side and we have our infinite side. Now, the infinite side is connected to all there is. That's where our power is. So we're so much bigger than just our human side. But so many of us use our human side when all we got to do is begin to practice and develop this bridge that connects our human side with our infinite side. So because we are so much more. We're so much more. There is a power that we speak about here in Ahava that's at the center of our being, all right? A presence that knows neither lack, limitation, fear, doubt, anxiety, disquiet, or imperfection, all right? It's at the center of our being. But because we're all individuals, all right, we can build a wall of negative thoughts between ourselves and this perfection. And this wall, which keeps out our greater good, it keeps us from enjoying or allowing or letting in our greater good, is built by mental blocks, cemented by fear and unbelief, okay? And it's mixed in with negative experiences. So these are all, obviously they're lower energies, but they're also preventions. They block us. So it's our job to tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev. It's our job to tear down this wall, to completely dissolve it. Dissolve it by truth, dissolve it by our practices, dissolve it by our claiming and reframing our experiences. Because the view which this wall blocks can be seen. It can be seen in all its glory and in all its grandeur. And the river of life forever flows, and the sun never stops shining. So every one of our experiences is an attempt to merge our own being with this eternal river. So when we look at our experiences, instead of doubt and lack and fear and just all the negative emotions, curiosity. What is this lesson here to serve me? What can I learn? How can I grow bigger? Without the loss of our identity. So it's to discover the self, which has never really left heaven. That's that infinite side of us. And to draw into our experience everything that makes life happy and worthwhile and joyful. All right, that's our job. Because the good we receive is a completion of a circle, which we must activate. It's the fulfillment of our deepest desires and our manifestations. But it's essential that we first put our reliance, our dependence, and our trust in this infinite side of our nature. We're connected to all there is, and there's a spirit that's all there is that is holding us and breathing us and made us. And we can access this. We can access this through our heart. We can access this through our prayers. But it operates on positive energy. Now, it operates for us the way we want to on positive energy, because it's always operating. So in doing so, what I have found is an abundance. Doing this, I have found an abundance of good, an abundance of grace and love. Now, I've had some experiences that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And I'm sure some of you have too. It's like, OMG. Oh. But where it has taken me, I wish on everyone. Okay? So it's allowed me to partake in the divine bounty. So what is the divine bounty? What is it? Well, it was mentioned it's everywhere present. Its meaning for us is to recognize the scope. The universe is always abundant and prosperous. We have and we always will have this opportunity to partake in this bounty, which is everywhere present. And as we accept this understanding that we live in an abundant and prosperous universe, it's always growing. The trees are always growing. The animals are always fed. The birds are always flying. The rivers are always flowing. We are always breathing. Okay? As we accept this understanding, a new power is born within, and we find ourselves renewed by a divine life, led by divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love. So in your life moments, I invite you to focus your inward vision on this knowing that we are renewed by the divine life, led by divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love. Now, to me, that feels really good, okay? And this will take us into this inner harmony, into this peace. So that's what I'm going to break down with you today is the three: divine life, led by divine intelligence, and guarded by divine love, which is my favorite as well. Okay. Renewed by divine life. Okay, now just for a moment, just all of us, let's just take a deep breath. This spirit, this divine life I was talking about, it's what's breathing us. It's what's breathing us. When we're no longer breathing, it means we're no longer alive, right? So as we breathe, we are breathing in this life. And this breath of life is an equal playing field. Nobody has more or less spirit in them. It's equally present, equally distributed. Everyone has the same amount. It's called life. So if you're alive, you have this infinite breath of renewed life in you, okay? So it's like the air we breathe, which is everywhere present. Nobody has more or less air to breathe than you do, I mean, it's plentiful. It's abundant. Air will always be in this universe, and we're going to have a lot of it. And we get to keep it and use it, so it's equally distributed. And in any moment, we can be renewed by this divine life, simply by consciously breathing it in. You can consciously breathe it in. So when you're having a bad day or something's going wrong or whatever, and you're just like fed up or whatever, you can pause and take a breath and know, wait a minute, I'm going to renew right now. It's like a do-over, just right now, I'm going to renew. I'm going to renew. And in this knowing, we find that the breath of life is the infinite source of our nature, okay? So we can remind ourselves at any moment that we can be removed and renewed, both, So how precious is our breath, right? So many of us take it for granted. We just, obviously we're breathing all the time, so it's easy to just, but conscious breathing, that's something that we can be aware of, okay? So we can take a deep breath, and when we consciously do this, we are communing with the infinite. It's a conscious effort of community with the infinite. All right, so now we go to the next one, which is being renewed by divine life, or we just did that. The next one is being led by divine intelligence. Okay. Honest to goodness, I really want you to know that there's no way that I could have been present in God's grace and love while supporting my husband Jimmy in his transition without being led by divine intelligence. Because every day, probably many times during the day, I would dedicate my reliance, my dependence, my trust on this divine intelligence. I would place my thinking, my words, my actions. I mean, rarely did I do anything without consciously ask for this guidance and be a part of this, because we agreed to do this differently. We agreed that he had Alzheimer's, and we agreed that he would remember everybody. We agreed that he would continue swimming and exercising, and 14 years he did, and then until like last June, he couldn't swim, and within a very short amount of time, he transitioned. But we were all there, and he remembered every one of us. And to do this, my goal was to do it well. I really wanted to do this well. So I got up early, I put on my makeup, got dressed, and showed up and just showered the love and showered the room and the energy with the preciousness of life, with that being renewed and being led by infinite intelligence. So I tapped into this power, which was my secret sauce, okay? And I found that I ended up developing a very deep and solid relationship with my comforter, with my higher self, with this indwelling spirit. And which is all I asked, and which is all we want, is to be able to be, doesn't being guided and protected and provided sound so good? It just sounds relaxing, and I mean, that's what we all want. So, in doing so, it became really interesting because it became automatic. I just started to do that. It became my default position for me to depend and rely on something that was greater than myself. So you see, we're never alone. We have the breath of spirit. We have this guidance. Although it's invisible, it's the infinite side of our nature. And what power this is when we recognize it and we activate it and we depend on it and we rely on it. So I had plenty of time to practice this and to rely on this. And by the way, we all do. Every day. We can do this anytime. We can start this foundation, this relationship. We can ask, we can begin. I wanted to show up. I wanted to be the best version of myself. And I did. I did it for me, I did it for Jimmy, and I did it for my family. And it just became a part of who I became. I just became that. It's a part, I am now a conscious being in connecting with my higher self. That is my goal. That is my job. That's what I love. I mean, and it works. It works when you ask divine intelligence to support you, to help you. It works. I mean, it really does. Ask my kids. We ask We ask every time we lose something, every time we're looking for something. We pray and we ask for this intelligent, infinite side of our nature to give us signals, give us nudges, give us new ideas, because it's all in the consciousness. It's all in the conscious contact with this. So we live when we live in an abundant universe like we do, we have this opportunity and this responsibility to access this abundance in our life. And it is written that the law of the Lord is perfect, and the law of the Lord is love. So we are made perfect, and perfect is the law when we enter into this conscious communion with love. Okay? It is only through love that the law can fulfill itself in our experience. All right? Love harmonizes everything. It unifies everything. So, the next one is we are motivated and guarded by love. So how do we do that? Make most of this law. And first, what we must do is remember that all of providence in this universe is set up for our success, for our manifestation, for our desires, for our what we would love, okay? It is surrounding us for our greater good. It is the universe's desire, the universal intelligence's desire, the spirit of life's desire to give you all your blessings, to give you all your abundance, to give you all your desires, and we may sometimes think that something's wrong or that we're wrong or that we're unworthy of this. But the truth is, there would be a hole in the tapestry of life for eternity without your thread of life in it. That's how important you are. That's how important all of us are. We're here on a purpose, for a purpose, or we wouldn't be here. We're here to love. We're here to share. We're here to have joy and experiences. And yes, it's a roller coaster. We get to experience all of our emotions. But what we do with it, how we remind ourselves that we're not alone in this, how we connect to this greater truth that there is more to us and that there is a lesson instead of being discouraged and disappointed and doubtful and fearful and lack and limitations and all these things. It's just a learning. We're kind of like in God's school. Our life is like being in God's school. God is bringing people to us and experiences to us, and we're part of it, and we're attracting it, and we get to participate in it. And that's when we go into the practice of renewing our breath of life, of being led by this intelligence and being guarded by this love. So here's a fun fact. In the scripture it says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. It says it 365 times. One for every day. And what does that mean? It means the releasing of fear and doubt and anxiety from your thinking and your central nervous system. Because we've got to convince our central nervous system that we're guarded. Otherwise, we have the jitters and we have the angst and we have the anxiety. So it's kind of a two thing. We clear our thoughts. I am part of this, and our central nervous system. And we wish to be led by the divine intelligence and guarded by divine love. For love is the strongest force in the universe. In fact, the entire universe, everything in it, that's all that's going on. It's all one power, one singular power of love that's evolving in many different ways. And in the Course of Miracles, it states that everything, no exception, is either an act of love or a request for love. And if we are guarded by the abundance of divine love, then can you imagine how much love we have within us to give to ourselves and to one another? I mean, if that's all it is and we're part of it, when we tap into this power and this relationship and create this foundation, we're constantly, continually renewed by divine life with every breath, and we are led by this intelligence, and then we're guarded by this love. I mean, geez Louise, come on. I mean, there's nothing to fear, really. And that's our work. And we have a whole lot of abundance going on, right? I mean, holy moly, we can give our time to the things that we love. We can give our talents to whatever allows us to feel good. We can give our treasures to what we believe in. We can give a smile and send good vibes to our loved ones, to our neighbors, to our enemies. I mean, we can do all these things, and we can accept and realize that we are guarded no matter what. So what do we have to lose, really? You know, we have nothing to lose, and we have so much to gain in the giving. We receive so much more. This activates our relationships. It activates our finances. It activates our career. But we must be the first one to activate. Okay? We must activate this circulation, and we must trust and calm our central nervous system by removing the thoughts of lack and limitations and less thans and fears, and replace it with the knowing that God has our back. Not sometimes, all the time. God has my back. Does God have your back? God has my back. Say it. God has my back. God has my back. I mean, all the time. We must learn to trust this, really trust this. The universe has our back. It really does. It always has. I know the universe has mine, for sure. All right? I asked for it to have my back. I mean, I remember, we're the activators. So it's everywhere present. We live in a prosperous universe, one divine order and perfection in this abundance, and all of providence is surrounding us, especially when we decide to depend on and trust and rely on and being sustained by this substance of the divine. This is a healing power. It touches everything with wholeness. I mean, it's like a divine balm. First I wrote bomb, and I went, what? No, I meant balm. You know, its essence is the very substance of life. It's renewing, it's vitalizing, it brings joy and harmony and blessings to everything and to everyone. This is our practice. This is my practice. We must work on this. You know, we must release anything that no longer serves us. So in wrapping this up, I want to say, do not be afraid to give to yourself, okay? Do not be afraid to give your gifts. Do not be afraid to give your talent, your treasures. Don't be afraid, because as you give, you open up a space to receive. Now, there isn't a law of giving. It's in our innate nature, but there is a law of receiving. And we're all worthy to receive our inheritance of abundance and prosperity by activating and trusting and relying and depending on what I did and what you can do that allowed me to go through the transitions and what I'm doing now with pure calm and poised and confidence, because I knew who had my back. I really knew that. So we activate it. Be the first one to give a smile to your brothers and sisters, your friends, your enemies, gives your gifts, gives your talents. Reap in the spirit of divine bounty. You know, and Infinite wants to give you everything. Does that sound good? I mean, that's what I'm going to do. So I invite you. Try this practice. It really worked for me. It really did. And allow yourself to be open to receive all the blessings. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay. All right. A few years ago, I just wanted to mention, I did write some books. I co-wrote with the Four Dames and then the others. It's called Wealth Mastery for Women and for Really Smart Men and Women Living Consciously. It's stories, and it all goes to here. And my hope to Ahava. And my hope for you this month, the month of Rocktober, is that you remember that you are a holy, holy, divine son and daughter of the Most High, and that you are worthy of your inheritance and your abundance and your prosperity. So let's rock it and let's activate this. And thank you for allowing me to share blessings upon all of us. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So let's take that into prayer, shall we? Take a nice deep breath. So grateful to recognize the infinite source of life, the divine bounty that is pure abundance. knowing and recognizing that this one life, this one source, this essence that sustains all of life, that provides the sun and the water and the soil, is also providing for us. For we are one. So I know that each and every person hearing the sound of my voice right here, right now, is one with this infinite life. And therefore, all the good that we desire is flowing to us, through us, as us now, as we say yes to activate this prosperity in our lives. So I am so grateful to know that I get to choose. I can choose abundance. I can choose health and wellness and prosperity. I can choose to see the abundant nature of life all around me. And in doing so, I activate this creative intelligence within that always has my back and says yes. So this month, I hold in my heart and in this field of prayer the truth of divine abundance unfolding in and as this community, Ahava Center for Spiritual Living, in and as all of our community members and friends and attendees. And I hold a special place in my prayer and thoughts this day as well, our sister CSL in Asheville, knowing that abundance is flowing through this beautiful city, through the hearts and hands of those who are showing up to volunteer, to help, to support the revitalization of the city, of the CSL Asheville, of our beloved minister friends, Reverend Amy Steinberg, Reverend Ryan, Reverend Chris, and all those affected by the recent storm, knowing that there is more than enough, that we live in an infinite universe. And so we open our hearts to always activate this truth and be reminded of the abundance of who we are and ask, what is mine to do today? How can I serve today? What is mine to give, to share, to activate this law of circulation in life such that I may too be open to receive the divine bounty? I'm so grateful. So grateful to recognize this truth and to affirm this truth now as I release this word into the action of the law that always says, yes, my beloved, it is done and it is so. And together we say, and so it is.